distance so close to me. Tell me the secret of your eternal beauty. Wanna know your potion. I wanna bathe in your sea. I wanna dive in your ocean. Safe ghost, I'm no longer in control. Hold on, your last words before you let go. Leave me all I see. Let me fall and free. You complain, yeah. Don't you take no wrong till you're safe and sound.
Hello, people on the where you are. Not in nature like I am, but where you are. As you can clearly see, I've got nothing to say. I've got no introduction here. This is video number, I think, 6 that we're filming for today. But now, I'm sitting in a sea and mountain and something of guitars. It's a hint at Leslie to switch to the guitars camera, but she's not getting it. There we go. Because we have a really, really pointless camera. Now, if you're asking yourself, why amongst these Harley Benton Fusion guitars, there is one with purple pickups that you cannot get at the moment, then I'm telling you that's my signature guitar. And why does it have relevance here? Which is here. Right here. Ah, thank you, Leslie. Thanks to Leslie for switching, by the way. I think people have asked me, has the emergence of the amazing Fusion line from Harley Benton something to do with the development of your HP42 signature? And I'm going to say yes, it has. Because by weeding out factories that messed up with my guitar, and seeing who does the tops right and all these details, it helped Harley Benton to hone in on that kind of build and dare to do a guitar that looks like this and is the Fusion line. So I'm thinking that the R&D and ordering batches and making experiences with all these factories helped them find the one that now is capable of building the Fusions. In so far, it had something to do with it. And if you go to the amps cam, Leslie, you can actually see that is way too dark. Yes, you can see that it is way too dark. There we go. No, you cannot see that. Damn it. Do we have any camera where you can see it? No, we do not. We have many cameras. Go to the room cam. We even have one from behind the guitars. Isn't that awesome? There, you can see behind the guitars. My guitar in the middle with the purple pickups has a slightly different body shape. It is slightly asymmetrical. It is similar, but it's not the same instrument. Obviously, and also it has a fixed bridge. All the fusions and the dynamic, which you see second from the left, have tremolos, which I think is a shame. They should absolutely make them with a fixed bridge, because it gets the manufacturing cost down, it gets the price down, and it makes the guitar a more stable instrument. And there are people who don't need a tremolo. Now all the Fusions do have tremolos. So mine is a little bit different. What is the same is that mine has a roasted maple neck and fretboard now, just as the Rasted Maple HSH, which is the third from the left, which is also the one we're looking at now. So we have a couple of things to cover with this instrument. People have said that's pretty much a Guthrie Govan signature Charvel clone. And I see that why people would say that, because his has a similar color, it's an HSH, so yeah, you could say that. I highly doubt that they're trying that, because the Charvel Guthrie Govan is a brilliant guitar and it's €3,500. Trying to offer one for 400 that can rival it is just ridiculous. I don't think that's what this is. It might be an homage. I don't know what they're trying to do. It is of a similar color. I think it's a subtle but beautiful flame in a natural color. On the back, it's a mahogany body. I'm trying to look as closely as possible to see how many parts. Oh, you can see that on the binding easily, because here it's a little bit dark, but on the binding we can see. So there's 1, 2. So it's a 3-piece body, because the binding is not the top, the binding is actually just the taped off body, just like on mine. What is this? Just residue. Good. And then there's a thin veneer, but it's pretty. And apparently guitars in up to €1,300, like the solar guitars, also have veneer. So actual maple tops come in at a quite higher price range. So it's a natural binding, but the binding is not maple, it is the body, the mahogany. Three-piece body. We have a traditional jack plate. I wish it had the barrel jack like Ibanez and like my signature. What else? We have a slightly ergonomic thing part of the guitar. I can never remember what that's called. Heel something. What you can see is that there's a thick ass tremolo block in there. Or you cannot see that, but there is. Definitely way thicker than you would expect on these guitars. This part's recessed, this part's on top like it always is, that's totally fine. The stunning thing on this roasted maple is this roasted maple neck. It has amazing flame, and it has amazing, like a literal jaggedy flame going this way. Locking tuners, which are nice. And roasted maple fretboard with kind of a coffee cream dot. Beautiful white dots on the side. Let's see if they're centered. And they are centered beautifully on the fretboard. Look at that shit. And the fretboard is, because it doesn't have a skunk stripe, so the truss rod gets put in from the top. And the fretboard looks to die for from the side. Here we can see that there's some shave marks from where it was. I don't know if you can see that up here. Little bit of a scrapey mark, nothing major. The headstock is straight, and it is not shafted on. Which even, I know that you usually do that when you have a angled headstock. Even the John Mayer PRS for 2800 has a 3-piece body and a shafted on headstock. Shame on you, PRS. I'm sorry, but that's just a total no-go in that price range. The fretboard is hanging over a little bit right there. It's hanging over the neck for the last fret, because these guitars have the spoke wheel Truss Rod Adjustment, which I absolutely love, and I'm pretty sure that that was something that originated with a discussion that I had for my signature, because I wanted that for the last one, and then they just said, hey, let's do it. We have a Wilkinson WVS52K tremolo on there. The arm screws in. Roswell pickups, 5-position switch, and single coil humbucker, in addition to, of course, volume and tone. And these are not the dome head knobs where you have the little hex screw. You can just pull these off, but not easily, I have to say. On other Harley Bentons, they just come off. These are definitely tighter. So the thing that is not pretty on these guitars is the nut. The nut just looks horrible. It still feels too high. It's not, it just looks badly done. And if it's badly done, it also means that the strings get stuck in there. If the strings get stuck in there, then any tremolo action will result in crapola. Also, floating tremolo without a locking nut and then having this string tree here is not beneficial. The first thing I would do on this literally is remove this and put individual string trees on the top 3 or top 4 strings. Up here you can also see that there's a little bit scrapey scrape happening there. A little bit of white residue. All that being said, the problem that Harley Benton has now is they put forward so many good guitars. They showed us so many great sounding instruments for $200 that with an instrument clocking in at 400, this is $399, our expectations are ridiculously high. Now a little bit scrapey scrape here or whatever, the nut, any details I find on this are ultra freaking nitpicky. And you wouldn't find a guitar in the $399 price range that in any way has these features or can rival this. But we are extra nitpicky because it's a higher priced Harley Benton, and Harley Benton has done so many great guitars at affordable prices that now, of course, we're like, whoa, for $400 we should get a perfect instrument, of course, which we can't. Let me say something about the tuners. They're the same ones that are on my Signature. And I've had those on 6 different prototypes of my Signature. And they've always been beautiful. Changing strings is super smooth. Opening these, closing these, perfect. Tuning, great. Tuning stability, great. These are fantastic tuners. And I'm not saying this because I tuned this guitar twice. I'm saying this because for 2.5 years or whatever, however long we've been working on my Signature, I know these. I don't know who makes them, but they are great. So that's already killer. We already know that this and the nut will be a problem for the tremolo. We're going to see what we can do and when it goes out of tune. So, full disclosure. This thing has 24 frets, by the way. Full disclosure. This guitar just came back from the luthier in the next town because something was wrong with it. We used it in the song that you heard at the beginning. And if you're wondering that maybe some of the sounds sounded a little bit nasal or a little bit thin, that was because the pickups were wrongly selected. The neck position was actually the bridge position. So Hendrik in the song picked the neck when he actually meant to pick the bridge. It was just reversed. There are 2 green cables in there, and they were in the wrong position. That was all that it was. Apparently, this can happen, and it's 1 in 100 where that happened. And I got it. But I also got the one with the nice neck, so fuck it! That happened, and Yoshi Luck, the luthier, because he's nice, checked it over, and he did improve the setup a little bit. It is lower now, and it's beautiful. It's a tiny bit buzzy here or there, so he said he would have loved to level the frets, which we're gonna do. We're gonna pimp the shit out of this at some point. I'm keeping this, and we're doing a new something, whatever. But that's for later. I want to see how far we can push this guitar, because it's already awesome. So, into the Rev Dynamis on clean. We're gonna go into a whole bunch of amps. And I'm going to answer a question that you want answered, because people have already said, aren't these Ibanez AZ-like? I got an Ibanez AZ. Let's find out! Here we go. Let's do D. Let's tune it. Harley Benton sent a whole bunch of tuners. Video coming later, already filmed. But I'm using my Polytune. Lutunskid. Oh, that's a pretty sound. First in-between position, which should be these 2, I guess. Middle, I don't know if anyone uses that. behind in between, back in between something. That's a super nasal sound. That is nice. I'm using the revival drive by Origin Effects. So, and then of course the bridge position. Of course we have the switch. We can go to single coil. Put on some delay. Beautiful. Now what do we have? And again, a different sound in single coil in between. That's nice. That's of course a single coil. What am I doing? Nice setup, Yoshi. That is nice. Of course, you want to know, I'll quickly check that, how it compares to exactly the same guitar, except for the roasted. So we have all maple here. Wait. This is all maple now. $100 cheaper. Everything pretty much the same. Same pickups, same tuners, same idea, same tremolo, but the neck is not roasted. That thing needs to go. Separate video for these. We'll compare them, but let's see. This has a little bit more bite, and it's a little bit clearer. It's, for lack of a better word, it's a little bit of a better guitar. It's clearly obvious immediately. I don't know. That's just how it feels. 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 Baby, baby. It's inspiring. That's just... I'm sorry. I'm having fun here. So, that was clean. I'm going to push that again a little bit with the revival drive just for fun. Okay, we're moving on to the Friedman, right there, the Friedman small box. And thank you, Leslie. Where's the note going? That note's going away really fast. That's what Yoshi meant by he would like to level the frets a bit. Again, he put the action really low. And that is the problem with the bridge and that string tree. Because you simply cannot use that tremolo. I'm sorry. Wilkinson or not, that's just Wilkinson. That is not. Yeah, G is completely gone. So the tremolo is, I'm sorry, for show. They need to fix that so that this works. But sound-wise, we're rocking. Fun. So let's do this. You're of course gonna say, well, he's testing it with all these expensive amps. Because you're little whiny babies. Well, two of you. 75,000 are fine. Two of you, whiny babies. How about we go into this amp? Pretty quiet, because it's a 1 watt amp. Now, of course, I can't adjust that. I'm gonna push it. So I'm gonna raise that level later. That's the little tiny Blackheart killer ant for, you can't see that there, let's see. The little tiny killer ant right there. 120 euro it costs. Let's go to the Dirty Shirley. That one works. Orange! course, the orange. Something's really loud here. And then we have, oh, of course, the Rev Generator 100p. Modern metal monster. Oh no, I did it. I, again, used the tremolo. I'm gonna go with don't do that. A's there, D's there, G's gone again. You shouldn't have to, you absolutely shouldn't have to, but the first thing you might want to do is replace the nut and the string tree. Other than that, I can't find anything wrong with this thing. It's fun, it has tons of sounds. It more sounds clean than it has distorted. Now, we want to know, $400, how does it stack up to something very similar in a much different price range? Here's my Ibanez AZ 2204 TAB. TAB is the color. It has a switch, which is not just a single coil humbucker switch, it does more. Everything is very similar. Chunkier neck on this one, I have a feeling. Roasted maple neck, not as porn in terms of the way it looks, but that also has the S-Tech treatment, which is where Japanese people rub that on their genitals or something. I don't know what's happening there. What the? This is all scratched up here. And I would like to know why. Did I do that? Did I do that? And someone did that. Whatever. Completely different mids. Oh, here we are. Oh, there. Of course, it's a single coil. On this one, I can do this. And stays in tune. It's a very different guitar. Or maybe a similar idea, but this is a very different guitar than a Fusion. You can't buy this for $400. And we pretty much have to get to the bottom line here. I did it again. Oops, I did it again! Is a song I wrote 7 years ago. So Leslie's gonna get that. Anyway. So yeah, this does sound nothing like the AZ. It is a thinner, let's say, cheaper sounding guitar. I don't necessarily want to say that. It's very simple what my 2 cents is. Tremolo might be Wilkinson. Don't touch it as long as you have that nut in that string tree. Not gonna happen. It had a fault in the wiring. One in who knows how many might have that. Something that's easily fixed if you notice that the sounds aren't what they're supposed to be. No problem. It is stunningly beautiful. It has an amazing roasted maple neck and fretboard. The tuners work beautifully. It has a lot of sounds. It's a very usable guitar, and you will not find anything, even remotely, in that price range that looks and sounds like it. Minus the few faults, absolutely. But it is what we expect from Harley Benton. A phenomenal instrument with a little bit of a polishing error here and a wiring error there. For $3.99, finding a guitar with a roasted maple neck. Music Man does a lot of roasted maple now, so does Ibanez, so do other companies. The price that a company will charge you for the roasted maple, the upcharge, is as much as the whole freaking instrument. If you buy Music Man, I love Music Mans, but if they have a roasted maple neck versus a non-roasted maple neck, they will charge you probably the $400 extra. Yes. So, I can recommend this instrument. You might have to take care of this. Or, don't wiggle this. Links below. Thanks to Leslie for switching. Animals at the end. Shirts below. Please buy some. That helps me. Not the Mr. Google shirt. Doesn't help. But if you buy my shirt, HP42 with funny things on it. And if you support me on Patreon, I will love you forever. See you later.
Oh, 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 oh. Thinking about my memories. No one is alone. I thank you for existing. You make my life go on. It's such a sad situation, 'cause I feel alone.